Harry wouldn't be caught dead with a crowd like this at New York's Museum of Modern Art. But at 58, Clint Eastwood is suddenly being honored and rediscovered in a new way. Not just as the tight-lipped gunslinger or the box office superhero, but as an artist. His latest picture, Bird, the 13th film Eastwood has directed, is the story of the legendary jazzman, Charlie Parker. Eastwood's not in it, so it may not be a big hit, but he made it anyway. Recently, we sat down with Eastwood in Sun Valley, Idaho, where superstars go to escape the world that made them superstars. Like the characters he plays on screen, Eastwood is quiet, independent, and intensely private, a reluctant hero. You never wanted to be a movie star.
No, I just enjoyed acting, and I enjoyed the process of it. I don't know what I ever felt I was going to be, where the road would end. Yeah, I just wanted a steady job. Got on a television series, had a steady job, that was fine. And I think, well, now I save some dough and see if I can get a small part in some films. And then you see what happens. Nice wheel. Yeah, unfortunately, this is actually the official foul. I like them real old. So how you guys doing today? Good. It's a great place up here. That gives you some air, fresh air. Nice old building, isn't it? Beautiful, fantastic. Beautiful. I guess Hemingway hung out here? Yeah. This is the hangout of Hemingway, and I guess in the early days of Sun Valley, Gary Cooper and Clark Gable, all those people.
I'd like to put this microphone down your shirt if that's okay.
Oh my God.
Give me the thrill of my life.
Are we going? Maybe the definition of a real movie star right now is someone whose name on a marquee can bring people into the movie. And you have been that for maybe longer than anyone else now working and anyone else in recent memory. And why is that? What you know, people come and go. What keeps your appeal so fresh?
You have to make a product that people will go to. The biggest names in the business can't hold them there if it's not there on the screen.
You've been doing it a long time, though. I mean, you've made, I don't know, how many, 40?
You hinting that I should hang it up there, Steve?
No, not exactly.
Yeah, I've been doing it a long time, but there's still other things to do.
A movie like Bird seems to me a bigger departure than any you've made before.
How's that going to work for you?
It's a somewhat difficult film. It's certainly an art film. Why'd you make it?
I grew up when Charlie Parker was having his most influence in the mid-40s. This is about an American genius. The one interesting thing about jazz musicians in general is they're so independent, and the nature of the music itself is sort of epitomizes independence. Because people who play, and you're welcome to listen, or you're welcome to turn around and walk away.
That also seems like an important sort of theme in your movies, and maybe in your life too. That, I mean, your movies are often about loners and about people who struggle to be independent and are very sort of fierce about maintaining their independence. Is that a central value to you?
Well, I think it's something that Americans have always admired. I think it was maybe the basis of some of the stock of the people who pioneered the country.
There's a kind of way, though, that in making Bird, you change the image we have of you. I mean, I'm sitting there watching Bird, and I'm thinking, wait, Clint Eastwood make this? The man with no name, the guy with the cheroot, the guy with the guns in San Francisco, he made this art film about a jazz musician.
Clint Eastwood's just a guy who likes music and is interested in history and other things in life. I don't smoke cheroots in real life. I don't carry a gun, and I don't do it, but those are characters that are figments of writers and my imagination.
I mean, a lot of what we see in your characters that we admire is not their opinions, is not their attitudes, but is their kind of strength, their cool, their decisiveness. Do you have that in common with your characters? I'm
not really that objective about myself, and whether In some ways, maybe I do. In other ways, maybe not. I don't think I'm probably as cool as I come off. I don't know. I don't look at myself, and I try not to.
Alive or dead, it's your choice. Let Red go.
People used to say about your acting that he's not acting up there, he's just snarling and squinting.
Well, I can't help, my eyes are sort of sensitive to light, so I squint a little bit, I guess. And it's amazing how certain things in your life become trademarks by accident.
You seem never to think about your image. I mean, a lot of stars think about nothing but almost. Does it mean nothing to you?
To me, I don't have an image. I don't care about my image. If I've created an image with a man with no name with a shroud, if I created such an image in someone's mind, then it's very flattering in a left-handed sort of way.
But you're aware that they leave the theater saying, that's what Clint Eastwood is like.
Maybe so, but that's the compliment. That's a compliment. If they think that's what you're like, then you've done your job. If they come out and say he's not really that way at all, then they're going, yeah, he's a phony.
You know, you talk to a lot of people in the movie business and they say,
hold it for that plane, shoot that sucker down.
Is there a certain element of kind of career maintenance that, I mean, is that part of the reason why we know we'll always see another Dirty Harry movie every so often?
I don't know if we'll always see anything, because I'm so whimsical. Once in a while, it's like you say it's like visiting an old friend, a character you played in the past.
He's a character you like, personally.
Yeah, I like him. I don't always agree with him on every subject, but it's fascinating to play the dogma that he represents.
The question often comes up of violence in your movies, and there's often a feeling afoot that if audiences see a lot of violence, then society becomes more violent. What would happen if an unstable person saw the film?
Well, what happens if an unstable person sees anything? What happens if an unstable person saw a newsreel of somebody laying there in an automobile wreck, which some channels you watch them pan back and forth, and, caress the mayhem. Does that throw that unstable person off into a tizzy? I don't know. Because you make a film for stable people.
I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? But Ian, this is a 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and would blow your head clean off. You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, Buck?
Someone like you has 2 jobs. One is the job of an actor, and the other is the job called being a movie star. And maybe, it sounds like you're saying to me, I don't like that other job of being a movie star.
I don't. I think it's terribly inhibiting. Years ago, when I was starting out, everybody said, what would you rather be, an actor or a motion picture star? And everybody always said, oh, we want to be actors. And I remember one guy in this class said, I'd like to be a motion picture star because they get all the roles. And they get to act all the time. And we're sitting here doing nothing, unemployed. And good point. The point is, you have to be in the position to be able to get it made. And I've got a plan. Throw your arms around this honky-tonk man. Throw your arms around this honky-tonk man. I'd hate to turn around and look back at my career someday and say, well, I just did a lot of the same stuff over and over. It's those little offshoots that make your life more interesting. Such a big And I suppose if I'd have worried about being a motion picture personality as opposed to an actor, I would have never done Rockabilly or Funky Dog Man or Tightrope with a Big Island, or I'd have never done a lot of movies along the way. But I'd have missed a lot. I'd have been the one who'd lost for it.
It sounds like we're again back to the question of independence.
Could be. Yeah. Yeah, it could be.
internationally, so when we got together, we spoke about its creation, and I brought up what I refer to as Ted Turner's computer Crayola fixation. I wondered what Eastwood thought of the colorization of black and white movies.
I don't think anyone who's had anything to do with film or who's been raised watching films would have anything to do with that. First place, it's the ugliest looking color you can possibly imagine. It takes many films that were intended to be in black and white and were lit for black and white, and that kind of certain dramatic effect that black and white films have, and completely ruins them.
If you were to make a black and white film now, would you put in your contract the fact that it could not be tampered with in any way?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I approach a lot of films like black and white, though I shoot them in color. The current film that is coming out, we shot it like it was a black and white film.
Well, your current film is as fine as I've seen in a very long time. It's called Bird. It's about the great alto sax player, Charlie Parker. His nickname was Yardbird, which the nickname for Yardbird was Bird. His other man had a nickname for a nickname. And he revolutionized jazz. What impelled you to make this picture about Charlie Parker?
Well, I had been a big Charlie Parker fan. I've been a big jazz fan for the better part of my life. I was very interested in Charlie Parker because I saw him in 1946. When I heard that there was a script on his life, I was very curious about it and thought it had great possibilities. And so I just went after it.
How did you possibly come to Forrest Whitaker to play this role?
I had seen him do some small, I believed as that.
You do not overlook the fact that he was addicted to drugs, that he took heroin and probably any other kind of drug that he could get his hands on. That is in the film. But
Parker said that he was a do as I say, not as I do type person, and that incident that is in the film is true. But I didn't want to make it there's plenty of public service announcements, and there's plenty of information out there as to why people should not take drugs. But at the same token, I didn't want to make this a propagandistic movie. I don't think that's what people want to go to the movies for, is to have somebody preach to them. So it's just there as it appeared in his life and as it was, and then there's no reason to slam home, hit anybody in the face with the particular message.
tomorrow here on Today, Clint Eastwood will talk about Charlie Parker's free-spirited, intense love of his life and the electronic wizardry that brings Parker's searing music to the screen. That's tomorrow. Clint Eastwood will be back after these minutes.
In all facets of production.
The NAACP is proud to present a special award to Mr. Clint Eastwood for creating great motion pictures while practicing the truest form of equal employment opportunities.
Mesdames et Messieurs, Monsieur Clint Eastwood.
Did I hear French back there? Yeah, fantastic. Well, I've been very lucky to work with some fantastic people, two of them right here. And I'd just like to say I'm very pleased with this award. I guess my ambition would be to make this particular award obsolete. And what I mean by that is make it commonplace within the motion picture industry and other industries to never use minorities never use them in a stereotypical fashion, and always be able to branch out. In thanking the NAACP this evening, I'd like to take one of their words at the title, and that is advancement. And I've always believed in advancement and opportunity for the individual in this country, and I believe that this is an important factor, as long as it's not the suppression of anyone else. And I believe that we can do that for large groups of people, and it is the job of all caring people to convince the white majority and others that it would enhance this country for all of us to have equal opportunity for advancement. And the words equality and advancement will take their place right next to liberty and justice for all.
He dares crooks to make his day, and his best friends are Smith and Wesson. Clint Eastwood is a man's man. But tonight, Big Clint's got woman problems. His longtime live-in lover has filed a palimony suit in Los Angeles, charging him with some pretty nasty things. We're going to take some poetic license to tell you the whole story.
He was the tall, silent stranger who rode into Hollywood town with a plate of spaghetti westerns and a gun that mowed him down. He was Big Bad Clint with 2 kids and a wife. But after 20 years of marriage, Clint had a change of life.
Yeah, you're right.
Dirty Harry met his match. Her name was Sandra Locke. Years ago, she got an Oscar nomination, which may come as a shock.
I do not work for you, and if you ever raise your voice to me again, I will scratch out your eyes.
So her acting's not so great. At other things, she had a knack. She wound up as Clint's co-star on the screen and in the sack. Clint's wife didn't take it all that well. She took millions and told her ex to take a ride to hell. Big Bad Clint let her take all that she could get and then rode off with Sandra into the Hollywood sunset. They shared 2 houses along with their kisses. But Clint was smart this time. He didn't make her his missus. They went on for 10 years. Sandra even directed. Clint did even better. He became respected.
Why don't you read that file of yours sometime, hero? Check the dates. It's ancient history.
The outlaw ran for mayor and won in a California town. Around that time, some tabloids said his honor messed around.
Save mine, right?
Last December, he gave Sandra the boot, threw her and her parrot out of the house.
You want me to leave?
Yeah. He gave him the bird and vowed revenge. She'd get even with the loud. Now she'll hang him high in Palimony Court. It's not a pretty situation. Sandra says he made her get 2 abortions and a tubal ligation. She wants a fistful of dollars, half of all Clint acquired in the 10 years they shacked up. Though she neglected to mention 10 years of publicity, her acting career racked up.
Coolest fish I've ever met.
Dare you call me a fish?
So Clint, the stranger's learning once again that if you dance, you gotta pay. For a woman scorned is bound to say,
Go ahead. Make my day.
Host is somewhat embarrassed by that effort, but not embarrassed by this. James Richardson walks free tonight.
And the winner is... Clint Eastwood first.
I'm still rehearsing my Doris Day speech. I have to present. I'm not supposed to get this. Thank you very much, Hollywood Foreign Press. This is just really wonderful. Thank everybody who had anything to do with Bird, starting with Charlie Parker and himself, and David Valdez, who's my associate, and Forrest, and Diane. Great cast of people. Never had anybody in my life work that hard. And we had the very best crew and filmed them. So, thanks.
Wendy Quaid, get a roll of Swedish Doll for more.
As solid as the Jane Fonda-Tom Hayden marriage. Number 6. Number 6, feeling lucky, punk. Number 5, no matter what happens, you keep...
Happy birthday, Beverly Hills. May we all look as good at 75.
Happy birthday. Right over there, have it on permanent display. And ladies and gentlemen, like always, if for some reason the show tonight, some unforeseen reason, the show tonight happens to blow, well, what did it cost you? Thank you very much for keeping that in mind. I think I'll let you in on a little secret. I think I'm really starting to irritate Clint Eastwood. I'll tell you what. A couple of weeks ago, I found, and I won't tell you how I came by it, but I found his home telephone number. And so every night now for the last couple of weeks, really late, I call him up and I say to him, "Hey, Clint, when are you going to make another movie with that orangutan?" And he hates it. Hates it. He hates it. Morty, don't call the museum yet.
3. By the end of the decade, Westerns dominated the airwaves. The 60s would have to be considered...
Great pleasure, and what I rarely use, to introduce from the set of his latest movie, The Rookie, Mr. Clint Eastwood.
Oh, Richard, good to be here.
Those golf clubs, I see.
That's right. That's right. I love golf. I play golf every time I get a chance, when I'm not working, that is.
That really surprises me. I thought you'd be more into, like, you know, demolition derby or cliff diving.
What do you think, golf is a sissy sport or something? You don't think it's a macho game? Well, you know what this is? This is an 8-iron, the most powerful 8-iron in the world, and will blow your ball clean off the green. So you got to ask yourself one question. Do you feel lucky, punk? Well, do you?
No, sir.
I didn't think so. Do you mind if we get on with the program?
No, go ahead. Make my day, if you really need to.
Our 4 candidates are PGA veterans who've consistently dominated the tour. Our nominees for Pro Golfer of the Year are... And the winner is... Jack Nicklaus.
Live from his home in North Palm Beach, Florida, where coincidentally I'll be playing